Hey everybody, Sam Kavaris in the Nimnicht Buick GMC Sports Update. The Jaguars fall to the Steelers 17-9, and they were in this game 10-9, basically until Blake Bortles threw the interception that was run back for a touchdown. And yes, Gus Bradley said that they gave Bortles a lot of different things to do, read defenses, check out. In fact, the throw that he threw for the touchdown for the Steelers was a play that was a running play called, and he checked out to a pass play. And that's what you get when you start a rookie quarterback. In fact, that's what you get when you start young players, it seems, everywhere. So when you start talking about what this player's potential is and what they can do and how they can get there and who the Jaguars have acquired through free agency and through the draft, you start to think about these players more in terms of what they can be than what they actually are. And that's young players who are still learning the game and how it's played on the professional level with guys who are 5, 10, and sometimes 15 years older, wiser, and stronger than they are. So at this point, the Jaguar roster is clearly better than it was last year and better than it was 2 years ago under Mike Mularkey. But it may still not be good enough to win a bunch of games. Last year's roster with 4 wins, that's about how good that roster was, that they could come up with 4 victories. You felt like this year's roster, though, would have more of an opportunity to win games. In this first 5-game stretch, which we all admitted was very difficult, we thought if they could sneak a win and maybe 2 out of there at 2 and 3, they'd get their feet under them and then they'd move on. We didn't plan on Ace Sanders not playing for 4 games and Cameron Bradfield being released and Winston Guy being a guy and then a star and then a guy and then released. We didn't count on Blake Bortles eventually getting into the game and starting to get the job done and learning. So there's a lot of things that go into a winning team when it comes in the National Football League, and maybe as much of it is talent. And the Jaguars are probably a half notch below a lot of teams right now. Now the next 3 weeks, Tennessee on the road and then Cleveland and Miami at home, those are teams that also have maybe a half notch lower talent than a lot of teams in the league that the Jaguars should be able to compete with and hopefully come up with some victories. I'm Sam Kavaris, and that's the Nimnicht Buick GMC Sports Update.